Hey, what's up, guys? Just woke up 24 here, back again with another episode of my Vegas Golden Knights franchise mode series. And the wait is finally over. The anticipation was killing me, but the time has finally arrived. We are here. It is draft day, and the tone has been set. My objective is set. We know what we're doing to begin this episode. It's just a matter of how do we get the job done. You guys have spoken. Russell Clausen, the franchise-level player, is the target. I have no choice. I have to try and get a deal done. Aside from that, the scary thing, of course, is that San Jose has the number one pick. So whatever we're doing in terms of trading is setting us up in a bit of a tough situation where whatever we send for him goes to a division rival, and that could haunt us. Will it haunt us as much as having to deal with a franchise-level player, though, for the next 10 to 15 years? Probably not, which is why we're still going forward with the plan. I mean, again, in terms of the point total, it doesn't seem too crazy, but when you realize he's a 17-year-old in the Swiss A-League, yeah, it's pretty damn impressive. He is, without a doubt, the target. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get into this. I'm a little bit worried, though, knowing that I'm up against the clock. I can't pause the timer. Let's see what we can do. How quickly can we get a deal done? What is it going to cost? We have under 3 minutes. They could make the pick at any time. I'm going to try and use Nold, which I've talked about before, in terms of not necessarily wanting to move him, but I am going to try, well, not wanting to dump him onto a team, right? Because we know he's not going to be good. But in this instance, screw San Jose. This isn't exactly the most quote-unquote realistic trade that we've ever made anyway. So, I'm good with it. Nold, 3 first-rounders, all in the 20 and a third-round pick, still not enough. We might have to use Yossi, Panarin, or Hamilton. Maybe. We're still going to be giving them so many draft picks. Come on, San Jose. You know you want this deal. Come on. I'm trying to reserve some of these top picks. Oh, my God. I might have to use Roman Yossi. Yeah, I got to use Yossi. Oh, my God. Nold, you're out of here. Oh, my God. Why doesn't it reset? No. We're against the clock. Roman, okay, I'm definitely not giving up all of those picks, though. Actually, you know what? I'll use Nold instead of a draft pick. That's a great idea. It's a genius idea. This is the worst part. I couldn't, oh my God, no. I got 55 seconds down. I couldn't use, I couldn't, do this ahead of time. Oh my God, I need someone on a 1-year deal. Please, yes, you. On an expiring contract. Come on. We got this. We'll be fine. San Jose, don't you dare make this pick. Don't you dare. How close are we to getting the deal done? We did it. We did it. I thought I would have to use more than that in terms of draft picks. Now I kind of regret using that higher up second. We use Yossi. Nold, and a second round pick. That's all it took. And to be honest, we could have used a pick that was even less than that. All right. So again, I had talked about it. I wasn't going to use Nold because we know he's not going to develop. But in this instance, where it's already kind of a quote-unquote unrealistic trade to begin with, I'm perfectly fine with it, as they have Yossi back. Do I reacquire Roman Yossi? Because, again, we use him and Nold. We still have a ton of draft picks. That might not be the worst idea. How easily could I reacquire Roman Yossi and then just send him somewhere else that isn't on San Jose? I wonder if I could pull that off. Would I rather deal with Roman Yossi or whoever they get with mid-round picks? I'd rather deal with whoever they get with the mid-round picks. Picks in the 20s? I might, you know what? If we're being stupid here, right? Which we kind of are with that one trade. If we're going to be a tad bit silly, Let's really go overboard here, shall we? How likely is it to get a deal done here is the question. Especially Oh, especially without having like a Nold to flip back to them. That might have been the better idea. Maybe just use draft picks and like use Nold. I don't know if they would have still put him on the block though if we didn't use Nold in the deal. Yes, I know we're on a timer here as well. Don't worry. You know, again, I still really like this. I really like this idea of getting Roman back and flipping him elsewhere. I really like that idea. Maybe I shouldn't, but if I can get him for cheap, why would I not? Right? And I don't know. Maybe I'm too crazy right now. As it is, you had to look at the amount of draft picks we had and think, well, maybe it's just best to let San Jose have him. But we didn't do that. That's right, we have our 24th, too. How close is this? Because I have to go make our number one selection here in a moment. How close is that? 2 firsts, a second, and a third for Roman Josi? Not yet. Not quite. Had to mute the mic there. Hopefully. Hopefully I muted it in time to clear my throat again. I just woke up. You can't just wake up and jump into something like this. You can, or at least I can. Still too far off. Okay, can we get this done? Can we get this done? Because then when you think about the possibilities of reflipping Roman Josi, damn it, moving him again along with Panarin and along with Dougie Hamilton, which I'm not set in stone to do, but it would be helpful. So 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third for Josi. Is that enough? Yes, it is. This is the episode that people are going to look back on and say, oh, this is where it went for the better or for the worse. Right. So at the end of this, we have Roman Josi. We have our number one overall pick in Russell Clausen. Let's confirm that. The Austrian wonder. Was that the right way to handle this, though? Was that the right way to handle this? Because if you look at the situation now, we have Josi, we still have Panarin, we still have Hamilton, we have a franchise-level player, we still have 3 other first-round picks. It's been rounds 2 to 3 that have been decimated. But I don't know. That's a tough call as far as whether or not that was the right move to make. So again, you look at what San Jose has gotten out of the deal, and pretty much what they get is Nold, which, we know what that move is, and they get some draft picks. So that is the question. Would I rather have Josi and Clausen and have San Jose have a shitload of picks instead? I think I would. I think we just robbed San Jose. Now, I didn't plan on getting Roman Josi back, but knowing that they wanted to trade him, it just kind of made all the sense in the world, didn't it? So, I think the deals are done. And again, now the question is whether or not we look to move some of these other guys. Because we're not exactly set up to compete. Sure, we made the playoffs this year, but taking a step back is probably for the best. Or at the very least, getting the most. You know what? Who's up next? The Islanders are up next. At the very least, getting the most for the players that we have, and then maybe looking to rebuild. Okay, I don't think we can pull off a deal. I'd be all right with sending Josi to the Islanders, though. But I don't think we can pull off a deal here. We just don't have the mid-round picks that I think it would take. Because as it is, I think right here with that move, would this be even? What if we take out that third? Not sufficient at all, apparently. I thought it would have been somewhat close. What if we just stack mid-round picks? No. So yeah, I don't think we can pull this off. Probably not, at least. It's looking unlikely. But that's not going to stop me from being stupid and trying. Because why not? And as it is this worth it necessarily? Depends on who's there with this next pick. Yeah, I don't think we can do it. So I think we're probably stuck with who we have, more than likely. But again, we still have the option now, on top of having 3 other picks, we still have the option of moving Josi, Panarin, and Dougie Hamilton if need be. Hamilton, of course, signed that 1-year extension, so we have the ability to move him. I mean, unless I were to just be ridiculous and be like, here you go, New York. Here's 3 great players for whoever's left in this draft class, and they're going to make this pick in a moment. It's Elijah Lackey. Oh, yeah, okay. Nope, hold on. Nope, don't auto-draft. I have 35 seconds to try and pull this off. Will I be able to is the question. How would you like a nice, shiny Yossi and Hamilton? And, oh my god, they're in the red. They got Barzal and Krebs. Oh my god. Let me just safety net this a little bit. What do you say? Rejected. What do you say now? Damn it. No. We can make this happen. Give me a second. Just a second. Give me a second. Nope. How about straight up? Please? It went through. Do I regret that? Do I like that? Do I regret that? Oh my god. Was that... Did I do good? Was that the move? Was that the move to make? We walk into this draft with all of these draft picks and some high-end assets to move. We end up with Klassen, and now I have the ability to get Lackey as well. We send Yossi and Hamilton to the Eastern Conference, to the New York Islanders, which pretty much puts them straight into cup contention if they weren't already there. How do I feel about that? I mean, you look at their defense now. They definitely needed those 2 players to match what's looking like a half-decent forward core. Am I doing... I knew we were going to be crazy when it came to this episode, and it came to the amount of trades, the magnitude of the trades. But are we making the right call? I still have, now, technically 4 first-round picks to make, and we still have Artemi Panarin that we could move. All right, let's double-check that Elijah Lackey's the guy, but he is. There's no doubt. Oh, my God. Yeah, Goldobin was looking pretty good. Volkov as well. But in terms of, wow, this was a hell of a draft. This was one hell of a draft. Marvin Mason. Let me take a look at this again. So, in fairness, identical grades with Goldobin. And then Mason as well. Ends up losing a bit on senses and skating. Defense. So yeah, Mason is where it starts to take a dip. And then Sergei Volkov, in fairness, it's looking pretty damn good. The physical category drops, but the skating, or not skating, the senses and defense happens to be above Mason. Even getting someone like a Tony Watson would be solid, but this is definitely a forward-heavy draft. I'm not totally against the idea of potentially trading up again and just really utilizing our draft picks to make moves. I think regardless, I mean, our scouts agree. Elijah Lackey, I know he's not in the best league, but that's still a ridiculous point total, even if he's not in the toughest league out there. We're taking Elijah Lackey with this second pick. So, you look at the deals with San Jose, you look at the deals, or the deal with the New York Islanders, Detroit, just a fire sale, to wholesale everything here. How would you like an Artemi Panarin? And I gotta be honest, I'm almost tempted to ditch Wild Bill Karlsson here. Just because he's approaching 30 and he still has a little bit of value. But Panarin for sure. You know me, I wanted to keep the core of the Golden Knights together for as long as possible, but we abandoned that plan heading into this season. It's a time for William Karlsson to go. You look at that contract. He only has 1 year left, too. Actually, he's on an expiring deal. Did he not? No, okay, we did sign him to that extension. That's right, the 8-year deal. Right. If I have to use Karlsson over draft picks, that could still be worth it, and then we're going to have all the salary cap space in the world. We do have late-end picks. How close would this be to being a done deal is my question. Panarin and Karlsson for the 3rd overall pick. How close are we? It turns out we're very close. I'm not sure how I feel about these trades. I have to admit, I'm not sure how I feel. because this isn't something that I often do in franchise mode. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that. When have I ever traded up to get the first 3 picks? If it's ever happened, it's been a long, long time. That said, if it was ever going to happen, and yeah, I'm probably going to take Goldobin here. That said, if it was ever going to happen, this was the time, this was the place, this was the perfect storm for that to happen. When you look at the draft picks that we had, the high-value players like a Yossi, Panarin, a Hamilton, and even a Sebastian Nold, even though he's not going to develop, when you look at all of that, the perfect storm leads to us drafting Klassen, Lackey, and Goldobin after trades. And that is our new top line moving forward. That's what it comes down to. We just moved Klassen or Lackey to the left-hand side, where they'll be on their strong side. So basically, whoever has better shooting will stay on that right-hand side. I don't know how I feel about this. I have to be honest. I really don't know how I feel about this. Because this type of trading, this type of wheeling and dealing, probably, now that I think of it, probably hasn't been seen since rebuilding Hockeytown. And that was 2016? 2016, 2017? So, it's been a while. I don't know how to feel about it. And it's weird, though, because I'm so conflicted. The funny thing is, we still have 3 first-round picks. In terms of a try-hard, don't worry about it, just rip off the AI, we made out like bandits in these deals. But I know these type of moves, they're not everyone's cup of tea. They're not even necessarily my cup of tea. But we knew we'd be going after Klassen. And then when you look at the price, which, by the way, we're definitely, I don't think we're trading up again. More than likely. We do have the 8th pick, though. We might, actually, let me take a look at the board again here. It was the perfect storm for this to happen. And needless to say, as I sit here, I'm wondering, oh God, what's the reaction to this going to be? I definitely want Watson. So I think I'm going to try to trade up to get that 6th pick just to try and get a high-end defenseman. Unless there's somebody else half decent here. But, we're seeing a lot of forwards. Marchment's not exactly locked in. We have Bomez, who in fairness is looking pretty damn good. What's the guarantee on Watson here? All right, A's across the board, 1A minus and 1B. Subban comparison for Tony Watson. What about Marchment? Again, not confirmed. Bomez is straight A's and a B. No similar style. So you know what, in fairness, it might not be the best idea to trade up. How much better? And really, Watson's going to have a higher overall rating than the others. He might still be worth trading up to get. Because a lot of these guys here, we can get pretty much one, because we don't have the mid-round picks now to be able to trade up. So we can get one of them. We might as well aim for the top end one. Although, Vyacheslav Bobrovsky, yeah, B's and C's. Medium elite potential, though. Medium elite potential, B's and C's. We either go for Watson, or we take one of the guys in the mid-round and also look to get Bobrovsky as a project, and that seems like a better idea. Because whether it is, again, Marchment, we can't really confirm how good he is. We do know that, whoa, that was really weird. Oh, it's because the pick went through. We do know that, would it be Hutanen, is closer to being confirmed medium elite. But then you have James Bomez, who is looking pretty damn good. So I think here, despite the fact that Hutanen might end up working out, if we get James Bomez and Bobrovsky down here, I think we'll be looking pretty good. So I think that is the goal. We do, unless with that 8th pick, Watson's still available and he slips. So Volkov went 4th, Anaheim at 5. They take Watson. Okay, so he wouldn't have been available either way. So we'll go ahead and sim to our next pick. Davies, Burmistrov, and then we have that 8th selection. I'm going to look to trade down ever so slightly. Let me take one more look at the draft class here. And see where Gomez, 14th in talent according to our scout. The fact that Marvin Mason's still there, though, as a top 5 pick, of course, because one went off the board. So we could get, wow. You know, in fairness, though, we could get the guy projected 4th with the 8th pick. That might be too good to pass up. I know he's more than likely a power forward. Our scout's confirming that he's 4th. Yeah, that's too good to pass up. I know we need some of these defensemen, but the fact that Marvin Mason's still there, we're making that pick. No doubt, we're making that pick. And whether or not we flip him later on, who's to say? But Mason falling to us at 8th, I'm not passing up on that. Not a chance. So that leaves us with the 22nd and 26th picks. If I could trade up, I'm going to aim to trade up for the Anaheim 13th. I really want Gomez. We'll see. So Knubel goes to Buffalo. San Jose takes Robichaud with one of the picks that we sent to them. Patrick to Ottawa. Calgary takes Slychuk. So can I get a deal done with Anaheim? They don't want to trade the pick, which is going to really kind of handcuff me here, but we'll use the Dallas 26th overall. I don't think I can trade up. We don't have the assets to do it. We have all these mid-round picks, but the value is just not going to be there. I think even if I stack these mid-round picks, we're not going to be close. And at this point, we really don't have anybody else that we'd look to trade. So I don't think we're going to end up with Gomez, more than likely. You know what, in fairness, let me try the stacking idea again to see if that's any closer. Yeah, no. So that's not going to work. If we could run into one of these teams, though, that would like to make a deal, that'd be good. Falk ends up going Chicago. Are you willing to trade this pick? You're not, so that's just not going to happen. We got to hope Gomez stays on the board here. And he does. Vancouver. It's good news. The longer it takes for him to go. Yes, there's our in. Vancouver wants to get a deal done. Let's see what we can do. So we'll use the 26th pick and a couple of these mid-round options, and we'll see how close we can get. I really don't know how to feel about this. The wheeling and dealing of it all. And that's pretty much the theme of this episode, is we've gone a little bit crazy. It went from being, at least make sure you get the number 1 overall pick, to, well, I have the assets, players, and picks to go insane here and really make some stuff happen. And that's what we've done. Like, this is a new series at this point. Oh my god, the low elites. Jesus. Is there anybody else that actually has some value that's worth getting rid of? Not necessarily. Wyatt Wiley doesn't have all that much. I still don't think we're going to be able to pull off this trade. So we're locked into this. We'll see how it happens. I don't necessarily want to give up assets next year in case, we end up not being that good. So let's just go ahead and sim the user pick. Novikov, Malmstrom, Gomez goes to Ottawa. So there you go. He's off the board, but we know Bobrovsky is still here. So that's promising. But it was too good of an opportunity to take the number 4. And Hutinen's still here as well, or Hutanen. So I think we're going to take him and then hopefully get Bobrovsky with the 26th pick. Because again, I think he's just too highly rated. Another player that falls to us, it just makes it far too obvious as far as what we should look to do. So Olli Hutanen is our next selection, and we'll hope that Bobrovsky stays on the board. Just 2 other picks here. San Jose at 24 takes Karpatsev. Will Washington screw us over? No, they will not. What a draft this has turned out to be, as we'll take the Project Bobrovsky. You might not like how it was done, but the fact that we ended up with Klassen, Lackey, Goldobin, Mason, Hutanen, and Bobrovsky, we pretty much had all of those first-round picks anyway. Like, we would have had, I believe, the same amount of first-round picks regardless, maybe one less. So we would have ended up potentially with Mason, with Hutanen, with Bobrovsky anyway. But like I said, it just sucks because obviously I know with an episode like this, you can't please everybody, right? And I know, hey, look, I know some people are going to be like, who cares? Especially if you're a big fan of how this episode went down. I get that. If you're not a big fan of how this episode's gone down, forgive me for this one and continue on. That's my argument. Oh, man. Like, obviously, oh my God. Like, obviously, I'm happy in a sense that, I mean, it's got to be Greer, right? Just looking at the board, it has to be Greer. But obviously, I'm happy with how this episode's gone down for obvious reasons because, I mean, holy shit. Like, we have, without a doubt, moved this team into a new era as we planned to. Eugene Greer, he's got a long way to go, and that skating is brutal. He might end up being another Nold, but he's without a doubt the best one to take. I don't think that's even really a discussion, just for the value that's there. Tynan, yeah, he's our guy. Although, Oscar Nilsson, medium top 4, how good are you? Yeah, Nilsson's a strong option too, but we have our guy here in the 4th round. Go right back up to the top. We're going to take Eugene Greer out of Poland. It's going to take him a long time to get there, if he ever does. But Eugene Greer is the selection. When is our next pick? I don't think the other dude's going to be available. Yeah, it's right at the end of the round. Well, we'll still sim to it. Obviously, we don't really have the assets to trade up, and we'll see who's available at this point. And unfortunately, no one we were interested in. So that was to be expected, though, at this point in time. And you know what? Since I don't even know how many picks we have left in this draft, that's something I should probably check, though. Let me do that instead of just doing something dumb. How many picks do we have left? Let's just go to offer trade. I can't wait for the reaction to this video. The wait, the anticipation for how is this all going to go down. And again, I think it's gone crazier than anyone ever expected. Yeah, we have a lot of late round picks. A lot. To the point where I probably could have traded up in the 4th round. I definitely could have traded up in the 4th round to get somebody else. But now, if anything, we might trade down towards next year's draft. Unless we have a solid steal here. Yeah, you know what, that's, out of everything, my biggest regret is the fact that I didn't just trade up to get that medium top 4 player, that defenseman. He could have been great. He might end up being great. So that is my biggest regrets. LaPierre, A- shooting, Theo Fleury comparison. I'm not sure how much I trust that, though. Halpern as well. I mean, we got a couple of options that might be worth taking here in terms of, you know, just making the pick rather than trading down. Monroe as well. 23 goals, was it? Not bad. Visakis. Also not terrible. So I can sit here and make a shitload of picks, or I can trade down for next year. I might just sit here and make a shitload of picks. Why not just risk it, see what happens? Gervais Chouinard. Holy shit. Like, I know he was 19, but that's another goalie to potentially get into the system. Yeah, Kopikari, I should say. Jesus, you can't blame me for having trouble seeing that text. My God. You know, I think that's hello, Leonov. Absolutely. Franzen might be an option. Leonov didn't play a game. He's definitely a project, but with him being a gem, that's not the worst thing in the world. And Conklin, there's a good chance of him actually being an enforcer, just due to the engaged physically. Probably still a defensive D-man, but still. Fabian Perron, not bad either. Yeah, you know what? There's enough talent in this draft. Let's just let's make these picks. Let's do it. This is going to be a very, very pick-heavy draft, to say the least. So Lehman was an option at this point. Christie was an option at this point. It comes down to one of the two. Christie as a defenseman, again, we don't know enough about. And then Lehman as a center. Not bad. Lehman, 159, not confirmed. Christie. I'm going to go... Both were pretty highly rated. I'm going to take another defenseman here. We're going to take Tristan Christie with this next pick. And then if Lehman's still available on our next selection, which should be soon, and it is Christie still there? He might be. Might end up being the best of both worlds. I know we have a lot of defensemen on roster. Yeah, we'll take Lehman here. I know we have a lot of defensemen on roster, but that's just because of all those free agents we signed at one point in time. I think, again, clearly, to say that it's a new era and a new time for this team moving forward, that is an understatement. And again, I know a new era and a new time literally mean the same damn thing, but that's fine. I was trying to search for another word and couldn't find it. LaPierre, that potentially A- in shooting would be great. Or we take Tyrone Halpern, both of whom, I mean, you can't really say might necessarily be the worst. Halpern has that slight chance at being a little bit better. In terms of rankings, I think we're going to go for Tyrone Halpern here from the Charlottetown Islanders, the Charlatan. And, oh shit, that actually brings us into the 6th round. I thought we had an extra 5th round pick. I still trust the Halpern selection over that. Monroe is available. Again, the 23 goal scorer. It's not too bad. You have Vasakis as well. I probably should double check when our next pick is, though. I know we have a ton. So we have the 7th pick after this. So it's pretty much not a concern. As far as high potentials, gems at this point, Leonov looks to be the last one that we can actually trust. And we have the majority of these players pinned at this point. We do have 2 gems left. Both of whom I believe we could get later on. 192 and 258. And right now, we are at 150. Okay. So yeah, we can definitely make these picks later. So we have Monroe. We have Vasakis. I think Vasakis, out of everybody that we have pinned, is probably the highest rated according to our scouts. As I shit you not, the dog just got scared because of rain outside, and it's adorable. It's adorable. Let's go. Who do we want to go for here? Does it even necessarily matter? I'm not sure. If we sort by scout rank, I'm going to trust the David Vasakis pick from the Sherbrooke Phoenix. We'll see how that works out for me. Why not? Again, just a matter of bringing in pick after pick. I thought we'd get to free agency in this episode as well, but needless to say, things have taken a drastic and dramatic turn as far as just how much we've done in this episode. I'm going to take Leonov now just to make sure. It's slightly off board, but knowing that the AI can go slightly off board, we'll take him next. That brings us to the 24th pick of the round, 179 overall. And we'll definitely continue to just go off of potential at this point. A lot of medium elites. I don't even need to pin these players anymore. A couple of low elites. There's that low elite gem that we'll definitely be able to get later. Okay, so let's take a look at Sharpe. Edgar Sharpe, 29 points, 50 penalty minutes. We don't really know enough about him, but that's okay. So 29 points as a defenseman, solid. You had the 12 points there for Conklin, very clearly a defensive defenseman or an enforcer. Edgar Ritchie as a potential offensive or two-way isn't bad. It's tough to judge defensemen in that way. Again, we don't necessarily have to take the gem here. And then scouting rank, it's a little bit tough. Highest guy right now, it would be Gervais Chouinard as a goaltender, which again, very impressed with those stats. Or it would be James Franzen off of rating, off of scouting ranking, as opposed to central scouting. So Gervais Chouinard, Korpakari, Toms, Schustrom, they're pretty much way down there. You have Perron at a 194, 188 for Conklin. So 188 for Conklin, dude at the top is potentially 185. I'm going to take another goalie here, just because obviously we don't necessarily have our goaltending future as set in stone, especially after the Marc-Andre Fleury trade. So we'll do that, and then who else? Who else is available? So like Franzen, let's take a look. So James Franzen, decent point totals. Ariel Haley, not much to go off of. Did play in a men's league though, as opposed to junior. Bjorn Valser, I like it. Zane Panay. I doubt we're going to see anybody with a crazy point total. Isaiah James is solid though. It's not bad. And then there's Schustrom, who I can get right at the end. But you know what? Just to play it safe, Frederick Schustrom. We'll take him next. That'll bring us into the 7th round. And just because I'm not sure how many picks we have left. I was going to say, and I think that's our last pick. It's not. We have 2 others. Okay, so 2 more picks in this draft. Perron is likely here. Haley, Agostini, Valser, or Walser. Probably Valser, though, with him being German. I think we'll take Perron, with him being the highest rated remaining, and then from there we'll decide through the mix. So Fabian Perron is up next, and our final pick in this draft, the dividing point in this series history. Who is it going to be? Probably Tom's, with him being the highest rated. Just because, again, for anybody else, it's not exactly confirmed. For the medium elites, we have the 2 low elites, in which Pedro Tom's is one of them, and we know he has a long way to go. Isaiah James has the good shooting, puck skills, and senses. Better physical rating. It might be Isaiah James, actually. I know he's a bit lower rated than Tom's, but I think I'm more impressed with him. What about Tim Keane? Yeah, no. Nope, and the 2 medium top 6s aren't going to be confirmed. It comes down to Tom's or Isaiah James. And I gotta be honest, I think we might need Pedro Tom's a little bit more, but he is a defensive D-man, so he's never going to be that great. It's the terrible skating for both of them that is absolutely a concern. I'm gonna trust the scout here. I'm gonna go for Pedro Tom's. I feel like we might need defensive, or not just defensive defensemen, but we might need defensemen more in general. That concludes one of the craziest drafts that we have had. Also, I love that we drafted just M at 173. That must have been Gervais Chouinard. That concludes one of the craziest drafts that we've had, maybe in general, but certainly in a long time, with the top 3 picks, 4 picks in the top 8. And again, I'm not sure how I feel about it. We were going to make a ton of picks in this draft anyway. We had the picks after selling off guys like Riley Smith, Jonathan Marchessault, you know, the whole deal there, Marc-Andre Fleury as well. So we were going to make a lot of picks regardless. It was just whether or not I was also going to use those picks combined with those big-time players to make something, to make this episode something more, something crazier than what we expected when it was known, when it was already set in stone by you guys that Russell Clausen needed to be a Vegas Golden Knight. I ended up getting a little bit crazy and going above and beyond that and just ripping that Band-Aid off and saying, yeah, let's go, full rebuild. And in a way, how much of a rebuild really is it? As unfortunately, a lot of our scouts might be walking away. We'll see. This is going to be very, very interesting, as we have $71 million in cap space. So you look at the re-sign phase and what this is going to be. You look at free agency, just in general, getting this team set up for the next episode. I don't know what to expect. I mean, aside from I can give you a preview of what's going to happen with goaltenders. Leonard's gone, Vladar, we're going to let him go for now. And of course, we were never going to sign Wheating. Goaltending, we will certainly be taking a look at what could potentially change. There's a lot. There is a lot that could still change about this team. But I definitely want to know the reaction to what's happened thus far before we continue onward. Because this is more than what I expected. I think, again, if the reaction was just, oh, cool, you traded for Clausen, and wow, you didn't even have to give up that much. That was the catalyst for going insane with this episode, is that, yeah, we didn't have to give up that much at all. And then we were able to cheaply get Roman Josi back. Cheaply in both tactics, but also in price. I don't know. What do the Vegas Golden Knights look like moving forward? What do teams like San Jose, the New York Islanders, and the Detroit Red Wings look like moving forward after we have all been affected by the ridiculous amounts of wheeling and dealing, as a couple other teams made some trades too throughout it, but course, the big thing, Artemi Panarin and William Karlsson dealt to Detroit. Roman Josi and Dougie Hamilton dealt to the New York Islanders. Initially, we reacquire Roman Josi for draft picks after sending him there. I mean, and then you look at Josi, Noel, and a second for the first overall pick, and Tarmo Ruwainen. Guys, we're going to end it here. The next episode, we will set up this team and begin our next season. I eagerly wait your response. You know the deal. Support the video. Support the channel. Check out everything in the description and click the bell because you should. I'll see you guys next time. If you hated this episode, I understand.